reading for you about somebody who is trying to figure out how to resolve a problem with a person that maybe you're related to. Maybe this is somebody that you have a child with. Maybe this is just, a coworker. But there's someone here who is quite a bit focused on their own things, struggle to consider others. They're preoccupied with the interests of self, right? And the thing is, the love magician is here because you're able to communicate with this person in a way that helps to improve the connection. Now, it does say love magician, so it does kind of hint that maybe the majority of you would be dealing with a romantic partner, but keep in mind that love is also platonic, so this could be, like I said, family, close friends, something like that. Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Apparently, I should have had a little bit more water. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. And also thank you to those of you that have checked out my candles on Etsy. That's linked in the description box as well. Hello, Hooks. How we doing? What should we start with? I think we'll go with the Pause Tarot. And then at some point, probably today, but possibly tomorrow, I will do an all signs Valentine's Day reading for you. Hopefully a little bit on the longer side, but we'll see. What else do we have? 8 of Wands and the Tower. Yeah, it's time to have a conversation with this person, even though you know it might result in an argument. It might get a little bit heated. Hey, I just wanted to talk to you about how things went the other day. I would like to think that the respect that we have for each other makes it possible for us to find a better way to respond to that type of situation. There's a way to approach this with this person that they can actually understand. It's like they have fewer stations on the radio frequency. You really have to tune into the right one. And I think it's important to do that, yes. Of course, I was raised on Disney movies, right? Temperance. And I'm gonna take a sip, sorry. Temperance, 2 of Cups, and the Hanged Man. Yeah, whatever kind of connection this is, there is respect and love, but someone might be just a little bit on the immature side. So with the Hanged Man, there is this like, oh, I don't know, it feels like this is a problem. Maybe you're thinking about blocking this person. Maybe you're questioning whether or not you should continue to be in a relationship with them. We have the Queen of Swords, which can be like the X card, right? Because this is someone who knows how to implement boundaries. So if this isn't going to change, if we can't get along in a different way, then I might have to rethink how we interact with each other or whether or not we do. Hello, Devin. How are you doing? The Emperor and the 5 of Cups in the reverse. But whoever I'm reading for, you don't want to just walk away and assume that this is not going to be able to be fixed. There is this desire to see if you can resolve this, or if the 2 of you, I should say, can resolve this. What else? 9 of Swords, Page of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. Page of Swords and Knight of Wands are both in the reverse. So you're stressing over it. This is like, what do I say? How do I say it the right way? Because I know this person's going to react in a probably negative way. I know this person's going to be like, who, me? I didn't do anything wrong. Or they'll take it as like a personal offense, right? Like, or attack. Like, well, that's just how I am. I can't believe, like, I thought you liked me. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think there's a reason that you are concerned. because this person has maybe had some less than patient responses to things in the past. I hope you get that miracle soon. Hello, Samir. I do personal questions after the general reading. The general reading is usually about 30 to 35 minutes, and we're 6 minutes in almost. And I do prioritize the questions from those who tip or donate, and you can donate a membership. Hello, Praveen. Hello, LMT. I'm sorry it's not for you, but allow me to just encourage you to go elsewhere. Hello, Bonnie. What's up? Hello, Triple. A tattoo. But I don't know which one you're talking about. This one? This one. King of Cups. They're both cats. One just has a skeleton. And one is Egyptian. Yeah, this is someone who is overly emotional. And do you feel like you have to compensate by being like extra calm? So this is saying there is a way to have this conversation. There is a way to progress this or come to an understanding so that you don't have these little arguments. I think it's just a little bit more concerning because you probably already know that this is somebody who's a little bit self-centered. You probably know that they struggle a little bit understanding someone else's perspective. But believe in your ability to pick up on the social cues or the body language and to leverage your words in a way that can bring about some sort of resolution. This is the Earth and Bones Tarot. Hello, Nix, how are you doing? Yeah, no, I got this one first, and I don't even think I finished this one because this took a couple times. And I was like, I've got to get something on this other arm or I'm going to feel like lopsided. Hello, Moo, how are you doing? Hey, Bonnie, do me a favor. Stop repeating your comment, please. That actually just makes me less likely to do your reading for you. Enjoy the general reading for a little bit, and I will get to personal questions after that, okay? There's some awesome people in the live chat. Two of Jars or the Two of Cups. King of Jars, King of Cups. And the Six of Swords. We've gotten all of these cards already. Interesting. Yeah, you're able to fix this. Maybe this person just needs someone that they really do care about to enlighten them. You know what I mean? Hey, I don't think you were actually trying to be rude. I don't think you were trying to make me feel small. But here's what happened the other day, and you know, it's kind of stressing me out how things happened, and just want to like make clear that I respect you. I want to be in this friendship or this relationship, or you know, I'm glad you're my brother, sister, whatever. But going forward, I would really like us to be able to have conversations that make it clear that we have that respect for each other, you know? So we have the Eight of Jars or Eight of Cups in the reverse, and the Queen of Wicks or Queen of Wands. So this Queen of Wands is the person who's a little self-centered. This is someone who I do think would have kind of a tumultuous romantic life. So even if this is your romantic partner, this is probably somebody who has struggled quite a bit letting go of old relationships, or they carry baggage from how they were treated in perhaps even their childhood. But this is someone who has not really fully grasped the importance of honest communication and introspection. I don't think we have someone who has a very clear understanding of who they are as an individual. I think who they are is curated in order to get attention or to get you know, admiration or even jealousy from people. Hi, Praveen. Please stop repeating your messages. Hello, Rick. Thank you. So we have judgment and death. So you're trying to decide whether or not to end this friendship or connection. And I think that the Queen of Wands here is not expecting you to be willing to do that. When you communicate or have this conversation with them, this is someone who's going to, in that conversation, realize how serious things are and also how important you are. But it's in a battle with how they feel about themselves and what they respond to with regards to like accountability or can I be called out? You're asking for change and they may or may not be capable of that, right? Four of Cups in the reverse and the Emperor. But the fact that you are communicating this need for changed behavior in a respectful way and in a way that makes clear, I care about you, I want this to work out, or, you know, here are the things that are wonderful about you, but this has been kind of difficult to deal with, or it's made it more challenging for us to, you know, be able to build that trust. So you're making it clear in a very nice way, almost like a soft way, right? Like, I'm like a fan of yours. I like to be around you. But when this happens, it makes me question whether or not it's a bad choice to be around you. And we have the Ace of Wands or Ace of Wicks with the Eight of Petals or Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, see, I feel like you're able to get this person to realize that their pride is not more important than the connection that they have with you. This is someone who's going to potentially surprise you. I didn't know that's how it came across, or I didn't know I was making you feel that way. This could just be a little bit of, you know, they weren't really thinking about it. Six of Jars or Six of Cups in the reverse. Hanged Man in the reverse. Some of you, this person's going to be stubborn and not want to admit that there's something that they need to do. There's definitely some immature behavior here, patterns that others might have already kind of graduated from or left behind. This could be someone who's encouraged by their family members to continue to kind of be that like immature person or like a jokester. But we have someone who has a tendency to kind of just like ignore the impact that their words have on others around them. They might just be too focused on, can I make everybody laugh? Cool, well then it doesn't matter if it's at your expense. The important thing is I look funny. Yes, they do look funny. This is the Egyptian Tarot. Hey, Skimmy. How are you doing? Ooh. Yeah, that's a little serious. So are you nervous? Hello, Sharon. How you doing? What else do we have? Knight of Swords. Judgment in the reverse. And the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. This is unfriend-like behavior or disrespectful to a committed relationship type behavior. Someone who's flirting with someone they shouldn't. Someone who's posting things online that they shouldn't. Maybe even sharing secrets from this person. And as a result, it's like, okay, well, I guess that's not what we're going to do anymore. We can talk about it and figure out how to treat each other better. and not have to ruin or walk away from this connection. So I do feel like for the majority of you, once you have this conversation, this is someone who does want to like step up. This is someone who does want to show you that they can do this and that you are important to them. They're just not the easiest person to talk to when it comes to, you know, their own behavior. And obviously that's something that needs to be addressed. Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups in the reverse. So if you are having this conversation and going out of your way to try to repair this with them, make sure that you feel good about being able to communicate what is at the root of the problem. In other words, maybe it's better to boil it down to sometimes when you speak to me, I don't feel like you actually care about me, or, you know, when your family insults me, it would mean a lot to me if you were able to defend me. If you boil it down to something that covers multiple situations as opposed to identifying all of the times that they messed up, you might be a little bit more successful. You might have to also cite those things, but I feel like having the repetition of you did this and you did this and you did this would be like a little bit more incendiary or more likely to start a fight, whereas having it kind of succinct makes them able to digest it a little bit more easily. Hello, Trey. How are you doing? Hey, Blanco. I don't. And I'm going to put you in a little timeout. Let's just, you know, you can have more respect for people, okay? Since we're talking about that in the reading, too. Hello, Aubrey. How are you doing? And thank you for joining, Tara. I hope you're having a good day. We have the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups. Yeah, I feel like you're going to get an apology from this person. For many of you, this is somebody who didn't realize that they were doing so much to upset you. Nine of Wands. And the Magician in the reverse. The thing is, they have justified and excused their behavior in a lot of past situations because they like to look at what other people were doing that made them, like, look what you made me do kind of thing, right? And you're helping them to understand that that's not the right way to go about things if they really do want to keep trustworthy, good people in their life. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? How's it going, Moon? What else? The Devil. And the Page of Swords in the reverse. Knight of Cups in the reverse. For some of you, this person's going to lose their temper or cry or try to make you look like the problem, i.e. gaslight, before they come around. In other words, they throw a little temper tantrum and then they go and they think about what they've done and then they come back and apologize. But for others of you, this is just going to be somebody who realizes in the moment when you're having this conversation, I really do need to treat this person better if I want to keep them in my life, because I wouldn't want to keep someone around if they were making me feel that way, right? Hello, Beulah. Hello, Janice. How are we doing? All right, this is the Fairy Godmother Oracle. What else do we have? Hello, Touch of Love. How are you doing? Oh, good for you, Rachel. It's going well, thank you. Do you mean like a longer read? I think we've emailed before, right? We've got vulnerability. This is what needs to be part of the conversation, and also what needs to be probably a little bit more comfortable for the Queen of Wands. You're this High Priestess, Queen of Swords, the person who's contemplating some boundaries or telling this person, like, hey, I really need you to be more respectful when you talk to me. Or, you know, if you're flirting with someone and we're in a relationship, like, we need to have some understanding here in terms of what's appropriate and what's not. Everyone's just a little bit different on that, right? Where does that line actually land? But with the vulnerability, as opposed to leveraging anger, I feel like there is a way for this person to see, you know what, you're right. I do need to adjust that. And I want to make sure that I'm not doing things that upset you. For many of you, this is a person who has been a little bit hesitant to make it clear that you are their partner. And they're going to decide it's time to go like social media official. They want to make it clear to everyone so that there is less chance of people being disrespectful in their communications, right? Yeah, Rachel's answering your question, Janice, but basically after the after the general reading, I do personal questions. And yes, definitely try to make sure that I do that respectfully. I'm not sure, maybe you're just saying I'm trying to ask the question and not be rude. Hello, Nick. How are you doing? Nope, I am pretty dang Pisces. So we have guilt. So this Queen of Wands is generally pretty good at setting aside the guilt that they have over how they treat other people. That's part of the self-centered energy. But when you share this vulnerability, you share that this is something that has made you upset or made you, you know, question the connection, there is guilt that sets in for them more, it's like more tangible, right? That pushes them to realize, I do need to do something to fix this. I don't want you to go away. Because there's love here. Two of Cups, and we have the love magician at the beginning. So they care about you enough to do what you might expect them not to do. Oh, thank you for helping, Rachel. Hello, Kay Garrett. How are you doing? Hello, Melissa. How's your day? Deception. Someone is wearing a mask in this relationship. I think this is about deceiving themselves and putting on a little bit of an act for others. Like, I want everyone to think that everything's perfect, right? But you're able to make a decision regarding this connection after you have this conversation. And I do feel like you're going to have someone that surprises you. I think maybe the initial reaction is more what you're expecting. But when they calm down or when they come back around, there's an apology and a desire for some, you know, a new chapter where they can approach things in a more mature way. Yes. I hope you don't have too long to wait for that. Hello, Trent. How are you doing? So we've got new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. And trust. So perhaps part of the reason you need to have this conversation is because things are still kind of in the development stage where those rules or boundaries haven't yet been super clearly defined. And that's on us, right? We've got the ability to express those things. And when we do, it's just that much easier to find a way to approach those things the way that we each want. So there's a need to build trust here. And this person who's not necessarily honest with themselves about how they treat others or whether or not they've considered The other person's perspective is going to struggle to build trust with you unless this conversation happens, and of course, unless they have some changed behavior, right? Yes, that's correct, Kay Garrett. Timeless read, and I don't ascribe much weight to the genders that come through in tarot. Like High Priestess is female, right? But there are plenty of High Priestesses that I have encountered in my life that are male. This is talking about the fact that you are quite perceptive. I think you know that there is something real between you and this person, but there's just like a little bit of sanding on the rough edges that needs to happen in order for you to feel like this is somebody who is going to treat you with the respect that you deserve. All right. And let's get a few from A Gamer's Ways. No, you're good, Melissa. Hello, Green Eyes. How's it going? Hello, Benjamin. How are you doing? What else? Crafting. To take an idea and make it reality, there is a special magic in bringing life to our creations. Pure passion only benefits when we act on it, and you are taking the initiative to get this off the ground. If you want to build a happy relationship with this person, it requires those conversations that can sometimes be a little bit difficult, even if, you think it might just result in an argument or someone getting angry. If you approach it the right way, you might actually be able to get what you're hoping for. When we team up with a partner, we become more capable of achieving common dreams. There is real love here. Whether it's romantic or not, you know you found someone who really has your back. That's legit. So don't give up on this, because this person's not going to give up on this. Hello, OJ. How's it going? Yes, I've seen those as well. In fact, the Magicians, Madmen, and Martyrs tarot deck has the Lovers with a man and a woman, a man and a man, and a woman and a woman. I'm not cool enough, apparently, to find them all, like, randomly, apparently. But I just want to find one. Nope. Sorry, guys. Be patient. It's worth it. Okay. Oh, yes. For the man and woman, it is Evita and Juan Perón. But do you see how at the top it says Lovers M+F? Yeah, some decks have a little bit more variety with that. But I think just in general, it's important to keep in mind that we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. It doesn't matter how you identify. It's just a matter of yin and yang, right? The gravitational pull of the feminine energy versus the more like sun-based, like taking action, male energy. Hello, James. How are you doing? Exactly. I would think they do, Rachel. Yeah, there you go. Hello, Roman. So we have local co-op. It's easiest to work together when we can collaborate on the physical plane. Working with others can be a means to growth and progress for everyone in the party, as long as we all share a vision. So you're getting alignment here with this person on what it is that you want. Here's, like, if we're going to be in a long-term relationship or if we're going to be in love, here's how I picture it. Or here's what, I consider to be, like, the right way to approach it. Open world. Now is the time for a new adventure. You're wandering into unknown territory, but your story seems to be pulling you in a certain direction. Character development is calling, and you must go. So, yeah, it's going to be a difficult conversation, but it's okay. You're going to be just fine. We can't expect people to read our minds when it comes to how we like to be treated. I'm a big fan of the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But we also have to keep in mind that sometimes there's exceptions or different preferences, even cultural differences that could impact how that actually works out. So the only way we can get around that is by actually communicating what we need, what we want, what isn't working, especially if we can do it in a respectful way. So we have the moon, that gravitational pull energy. That's our high priestess saying, okay, let's just take a quick look here. Here's what's been going on. What do we need to do to change this? We have the stars and the scythe, number 16 and number 10. We can heal or we can go our separate ways. So I don't think this is necessarily reaching like ultimatum status, but I do feel like this is someone clearly laying out, here's what I would expect in the context of a relationship in order to feel like I'm being respected. And if that's something that you can do, I would be very happy to hear that, because then we can continue to get to know each other. But if that is something that is asking too much, then I understand, and maybe we are not well suited, you know? Wishing well, number 41, and the clouds, number 6. What you want is here. It's just shrouded in a little bit of immaturity. In other words, I do think you could be happy with this person, whether it's platonic or romantic. I think there is a lot to be said for the connection that you have with this person, even if they do have a little bit of rough edges right now that make them talk to you or, you know, treat you in a way that is not acceptable. I think this person's going to apologize. We have the lily, because they want things to be good between the two of you. They do care about you. I think for most of you, this is someone who's in love with you. And they want to show that they have the strength to be able to turn something like this around and not lose it. Hello, J-Mark. How are you doing? Yeah, then it's a moot point if you're not interested in a relationship, right? I would say that's a requirement for that. Does she really? Oh, must be your reading, Garrett. So we've got the High Priestess again, and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So the High Priestess, probably you, is saying, look, here are the choices. Now, technically, I think you already know that you're kind of making a choice. You're saying, I would like to be with you, but only if these things are true. And if they end up continuing to be the same way, if you treat me the same way, if this conversation doesn't change anything, then I have to change something and walk away. But it's like you're giving this person the opportunity to change that outcome. You would have probably already walked away if you didn't think they had it within them, or if you didn't think that they genuinely cared about you. King of Pentacles in the reverse. 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. I think they're going to have an angry or like irritated reaction at first, and then they're going to come back around and they're going to be like, you were probably right. I probably should change that, or you do deserve, you know, someone who sticks up for you while we're hanging out with my family. I shouldn't laugh along with them, or I shouldn't, you know, be flirting with that person, and I should make clear to everybody that I'm in a relationship. There's something here where it's like, yeah, you're right. I was probably being unreasonable. So yes, there's instability. Yes, there is maybe even some insecurity or just inability to understand how you might feel about a situation. Maybe even just outright ignorance of that. But with the Magician, echoing that love magician at the beginning, we have someone who's able to leverage their skill set to have this conversation and bring about a change within the friendship or the relationship. I think they're going to come back around. I think they're going to be like, you know what, you're right. I really don't want to lose you. So maybe, you know, I have been acting a little bit selfish, or maybe I have kind of failed to consider how you feel in those situations. The Queen of Wands is saying, but I want to make sure that I do right by you. Like, you're important to me. How do they feel about the High Priestess? Oh, that's good. Nine of Wands. This is something that is cherished or important to you that you want to defend. And we have the Horned One in the reverse. This is the wildest card, in my opinion, in the Witch's Tarot. I don't think I can show. Well, let's see. What can I do? Look at his expression. It's in the reverse, though. This is someone who's saying, you're right, I need to change that. I shouldn't have made you feel that way. I should have made it clear that you're my person. I should have made it clear that I respect you. I should have made it clear to my family that I don't tolerate that behavior, right? Hello, Ella. How are you doing? That's funny. Three of Cups and the Tower. So have a conversation, say the thing that needs to be said, do it with respect, and this person's going to have a change of heart or realize that it's time to do something better here, to show you that you really do matter to them. Hello, Kumar. How are you doing? Appreciation, number 15. And 7th chakra, Archangel Uriah. 7th chakra is the root chakra, self-preservation. So this is what the, what are we calling you again? I can't remember. We had the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands, that's right. So this Queen of Wands, who might be a little bit into themselves or a little, you know, ineffective at seeing how other people are feeling, is dealing with the root chakra, is dealing with what they do to disengage or disconnect from the reality or other people's emotions in order to preserve what they feel it should be or how they view themselves. And they're realizing that if they continue to like basically block out whatever other people think about them with regards to how they approach relationships, that they might not be able to be in that type of relationship. So we have introspection, somebody who's actually realizing, yeah, you know what? You're worth that effort. If I need to make that change or if I need to, you know, jump over that hurdle, then I will. So don't give up on this person. They have genuine love for you. Even though they're a little bit immature, they are absolutely willing to do right by you. They just, you know, they need a little chat with you first. Yeah, see, the actions do need to match, don't they? It does look like that. So we have the Ascension card. And Roller Coaster, highest high, adrenaline rush. Yes, they get upset. And then they get really sad if they think about what happens if I lose this person. So your conversation with them puts them through a little, it's like a mini ego death where they acknowledge this is something that is true and it may have in the past been really easy for me to ignore that or pretend that it wasn't important. But if you're saying that it's important, then it needs to be important to me too. Hello, Inger. How are you doing? Oh, I hope you're doing well too, Inger. Yeah, I am going to do a Valentine's Day all signs reading, either today or tomorrow, to add to that all signs playlist because it's been a little while. We have projected future days, weeks, and months. Meeting, receipts, and negotiator. Yeah. So this is someone who says, okay, this is a problem. I'm making you feel like you're not loved because I don't defend you when my family makes fun of you. Or I need to make sure that I'm not flirting and making you feel disrespected in social settings. This is going to be somebody who makes very clear that they want to do right by what you've asked them to change. You're going to have receipts very quickly, I think. That this is someone who's changing how they interact with others, changing how they talk about you, changing how they talk to you, changing how they listen to you because they don't want to lose you. Hello, Smiggles. How are you doing? And the children card is just kind of like confirmation that we do have somebody that has maybe been acting a little bit immature. And for others of you, it could be that you're trying to figure out if this is the type of person you could actually have a family with if they're dealing with some immaturity issues. And we have love affair. This is why I'm saying I think for some of you, this person's going to realize what they need to do is put you on their social media, claim you as their person, right? So that could be how they, partially how they address this. All right, let's get to Lee's personal question. Yeah, it happens. You know, I think we all do a little bit, but when it's impacting your ability to listen to other people, that's when a chat like this needs to happen, right? All right, what do we have for Lee, please? Oh, you're so welcome, Rachel. Hello, Ike. How's it going? Seven of Swords in the reverse, Santa Muerte or Death in the reverse, and the Magician. Something didn't end. Why do I feel like there's like a confession or I have to tell the truth because I forgot to do something? Like I didn't cancel this, so then this advertisement happened or this email happened, or you know, I was supposed to leave this at home so no one would be able to figure out, you know, it was really me. There's like someone who feels like now they have to be honest, but it's not their choice. It's like they're forced into it. Yeah, Knight of Swords is in the reverse. They want to be able to do this, Lee. They want to be able to keep the secret to themselves, but it's like now they can't. So obvious assumption would be this is the X. Is this the X? Yes. So something that he has tried to keep secret, now there's no choice. Now you have to talk about it. This is like a little bit of a mini reckoning because I feel like this is something that's been pushed and pushed and pushed, or like I don't have to do that, or I can avoid that. And now it's like, nope, you can squirm all you want, but we're going to ask these questions and you got to answer them. Three of Wands, 10 of Wands in the reverse, Six of Swords and the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is something that he thought he'd already gotten away with, or everything was fine. I convinced people, and now it's coming back around to like haunt him. Or now he's realizing, okay, how do I say this? I'm just going to tell you a story, okay, you guys? And it's funny. So in college, my roommate had a dog, and that dog was adorable. I went to class one day, and I couldn't figure out why it smelled bad. Noticed it in a couple different places, and then you start to question, like, is it me? I'm looking, it looks like it's fine. I have a white sweatshirt on, so I'd be able to see something, right? Well, he had peed on the back of my white sweatshirt. And I didn't know it because I'd gotten dressed like in the dark, you know, college, whatever. And here I was like in class with my dog pee on my sweater. This is someone who, I don't know, Lee, like felt like nobody could tell what was going on, but it's like quite obvious, like a sign on his back that said I lied, you know? Yeah, I think this is going to be a little difficult because it also hurts the ego. But we have the Three of Cups. This has to do with where were you at a specific date and time. So probably lied about, yeah, why he was somewhere or couldn't be somewhere else. Now he's going to have to talk about it. That's just how it goes, I guess. Yes, I've definitely picked up on that. Is Skemmy's friend group too much of a hassle? Oh, you're saying not too much of a hassle for me. Is Skemmy's friend group a positive impact worth investing in for Skemmy? Not all of them. This is like choose a new friend group, but you might still have one or two people that you stay in contact with. There's something here you don't know that would, I think, expedite your choice. Queen of Cups and the Ace of Swords. There's someone who's lied to you. And they're pretending to be your friend. You probably already know this or suspect this. But are we saying there's like one or two good people in this? One. There's one good person in this group. And this is someone that you would have been kind of already identifying as probably one of the more like honest individuals in the friend group. Hello, Gina. How's it going? Hello, Praveen. Tower in the reverse. I feel like you're able to walk away from this friend group before something really like blows up. Is there tea? Oh, yeah, there's tea. There is an argument brewing in this social group. Someone who is trying to make sure that no one finds out what they're doing. What is the moon in the reverse? Empress in the reverse, Eight of Cups in the reverse. This is like thirsty energy. I think people are going to find out that someone has gone back to an ex, and that ex could be within the same friend group. Because the flash that I saw was the How I Met Your Mother crew. So I feel like there is some drama here in terms of people who are lying about whether or not they're bumping uglies. So, yeah. Is there an indicator of the good? Who's the good one in the bunch? The person who gets betrayed. The person who is hurt by this secret. That's the good one. Yeah. I hope you're able to be there for that person, because that seems like it's going to be a big problem, a painful experience for that person, and they may have to break off from the friend group as well. Hello, Teresa. How are you doing? All right. Oh, they do, Smiggles. They definitely do. Gina's asking if my person of interest has feelings for Gina. Girl, wait. We got Queen of Cups and the Ace of Cups. These are both cards that talk about love. Yes, there's interest here. Yes. This is someone who also is drawn to how you treat yourself, or the respect you have for yourself. But this is someone who's not very confident in communicating emotions. So right now, I feel like this person's trying to decide how to approach things and how to make sure that they don't fumble. Is there a future? Oh, I hope things improve for you, Teresa. Oh, it's actually a cat. But I would totally wear a raven one, too. I want to befriend the local ravens. Does that make me weird? I don't care if it does. Is there a future? Yes, you have to work for it. It is not just handed to you like a... It's not like a golden ticket in the Willy Wonka chocolate bar. It's like, both of you want this, you both do the right things, then it is a very happy future. But with the Five of Cups in the reverse, we do have somebody here who is working to let go of something from the past that could block that. So it's also like, don't rush things, right? Give it that time. All right. Rachel, do you see how you spelled birthdays? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yes. I'm going to have to try to find a way to use that in my day-to-day speech now. All right. This is going to be about finances for all of you. Pick a number. I'm going to draw 3 cards. So 1, 2, or 3. And we'll see what we got going on for finances. And then I think I'm going to call it. What do we have for number 1? Eight of Pentacles. Things improve in a way that is like aligned with your effort. If you are potentially up for a promotion, this is saying do everything you can. Make sure you still have balance, but put in the effort. If this is about debt, this is saying get things in order so you understand what you're working with. What do we have for pile 2? Nine of Swords. Anxiety. There's a lot going on, and I feel like it's important to look at this in a bite-size strategy, a little bit at a time. You don't have to build Rome in a day or even 7. but you do have to get started. And what about pile 3? The Hermit in the reverse. Pile 3, there's someone who's going to give you advice, and it doesn't seem to be an informed approach. So do your own research. Trust but verify. Do not just automatically follow what this person is suggesting, because I feel like they have misled you, either intentionally or unintentionally. I think they just don't know what they're talking about. So, ooh, I do not know how to do that, Rachel. Apologies. Hello, Saeed. How are you doing? All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And thank you for checking out my